Hi everyone. Um, so this past week has been interesting. I have something new to report that's embarrassing, and that is that I am officially addicted to that candy, that Gushers candy. You guys know what Gushers are? I've never seen a commercial directed toward adults about Gushers. So this is candy, guys. This is candy that I am fucking addicted to. And I have been addicted to candy before, certain kinds, but I mean, I it's been a couple years, I think. Maybe last year I was addicted to Spree, or that was that the year before. I don't fucking know. It's Gushers. This summer it's been Gushers. I have gone through boxes of them. Hundreds of pieces of Gushers have gone into my mouth. It's gotten so bad. I'm not going to go into any more description other than to say the next day after I eat Gushers, I have a Gusher poo baby. I know it's a poo baby from Gushers. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. I can't stop eating them. It's not like I'm sitting here eating them around the clock, but like I don't know, it's the texture. I don't give a fuck about the gusher part inside. It's how thick the piece of candy is. You just chew and chew and chew, and I like stuff like that. Um, and it's just so delicious. I'm kind of obsessed. Like, I've got the sizes down. One of the boxes comes with 6 pouches, is what they call them. And in each pouch is only 9 pieces. Why wouldn't you just put 10 in there? Why 9? Like, so I've been thinking about that because, priorities. I really don't know why they can't just put 10 pieces of candy inside one of those pouches. So I will easily eat like a whole box in a sitting. I'll just do it. It's good. It tastes good. And then like at the Dollar Tree, they also have Gushers, but they have these smaller boxes with smaller pouches. And those smaller boxes have 3 pouches each, and in each pouch is only 5 pieces. It's just a joke. Like, are there not bags of Gushers where, like, I can just stick my hand in the bag and grab, like, a fistful and shove it in my mouth like a 5-year-old? Like, where are those? Why do I have to, like, open each and every tiny packet of Gushers? And every time I do so, it just reminds me, you're 41 and you're eating this shit and you can't stop. Like, I really hope this goes away soon. I mean, it's on the cheaper side of some of my whatever you would call this, food addiction. I don't fucking know. I This is like the ramen, but it's cheaper. Remember? Did you listen to that episode? I am not going to spend $1,000 on Gushers. Do not worry. But I just wanted to report that's where I'm at with that. Also, sometimes, when you're doing things and you don't realize how they look because your behavior is so normalized. So like for example, Alicia and I, you know, like we have a sense of humor and we're very weird people and we enjoy that. And we were in therapy where we had a therapy session last week, and her and I are in the waiting room, and Tia has like a camera in the waiting room, probably to see like when people show up. Um, and so it's just me and Alicia, and we're sitting there, and I was telling her that, or I asked her, like, what is the right way to clap? Um, and like, just to clap your hands. I said, how's the right way to clap your hands? She's like, what? And so I told her that, like, I was waiting for something. I don't remember what I was doing. Maybe something was in the microwave and I was just pacing back and forth like in the house to wait for it to get done. And so like sometimes I'll like sing to myself and like clap. And then for whatever reason, I clapped like with my fingers hitting my palm instead of like palm to palm. And I realized that the fingers hitting the palm, the clap is louder, like so loud. And then I clapped the way I usually clap, which is like, that monkey that's holding cymbals and it just clash, clash, like that's how I clap. Not like that slow or that obvious, but I'm just like a monkey clapper. I clap like the cymbals, you know? And so then I was like, just having this fucking conversation with myself, like, have you been clapping wrong your entire life? How do other people clap? Are some claps really that loud? Like, and so like then I'm online looking up fucking clapping. Like, this is ridiculous. But anyways, and so like then we're in therapy and we're in the waiting room and I was telling her what I was doing. And so she starts clapping and she's like, "This is how I clap." And I said, "Well, this is how I clap." And can you just imagine if you were like the person on the other side of that camera and you just have like it was Tia and she's looking into the waiting room and she sees two women in their 40s clapping like children, like, it's just ridiculous. It was kind of funny, but, like, sometimes it's just like, "Dude, we're out in public." Like, let's save this for home. Anyways, um, I also wanted to just, share that I still don't know how to double ingredients for cooking. I still hate cooking very much, but Alicia likes me to cook the few things that I do once in a while, and so we've been on a ham and potato soup kick. I think that's kind of been broken now because the original recipe gives you like enough for 2 nights. Well, we would like to have more than that. Like the first night, her and I have 2 bowls. And then the second night, there's 1 bowl each. And we really like this ham and potato soup. Like, I am really proud of how I can cook this. It's very delicious. And so I was like, maybe I can like double it and like we can have it for like 3 days. And I already knew as soon as those words left my mouth that that was going to be a problem for me. And there's not that many ingredients when it comes to this kind of soup. But basically, I got it wrong. I put too much water in, and then when I made the roux with like the milk and the flour and the butter, it didn't make it as thick as I wanted it to be. Like, so it was pretty much watery milk, potato, and ham soup. And I was so disappointed that I spent my time on that and that I tried to double and I messed it up again because I don't know how to do some of the numbers and like the measurements and I can like if it's like a cup of this, yeah, I can do 2 cups. But like when everything in the recipe has to be doubled, it confuses me. I don't know. Um so, if anybody else is my age and doesn't know how to do basic math, it's not just you. Something else that's happened is Alicia got a library card. I did not know that people still go to libraries. I was thinking about this like, I don't know, last month for some reason. I was like, who is still going to libraries? Like everything's online. I know that like it's not everybody has access to internet. I get it. And not everybody has access to books. I do get it. I understand why libraries exist. I just didn't know that people really still frequented them. And so, like, the other day, Alicia's like, I think I'm going to get a library card. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, like, I read a lot. It'll save me from having to buy all those books I buy. I can just go, like, check them out. And I was like, okay. So she wanted me to go with her. And I was like, okay. And she wanted to know if I would like to get a library card too. And I said no. And she tried to, like, talk me into it, saying, well, you can have access to, like, certain audiobooks or whatever on their database or whatever. I don't know. And I just was like, I like the system I already have with Audible, like I'm good with like those. And I don't want to change up how I'm listening to books. So no, thank you. And, I just was like, look, I don't want to check out books that other people have touched, like multiple people. Like when I was in college, I would get brand new textbooks as often as possible because I didn't want these fucking books that people pick their nose, flip a page, scratch their ass. Like, who the fuck knows what people are doing with their hands? And, like, just the thought of, like, potentially hundreds of people having held this one book, flipped these pages, it's disgusting to me. And I told Alicia, that's not going to happen. I am not getting a library card. I have no fucking desire to just come to a building to borrow shit that other people have touched over and over again. No. Fuck no. Anybody else feel this way? I would really like to know. Um, and what else? Oh, Alicia, my wife's title has officially changed at work. She is now considered a fucking therapist. What? My wife is a therapist? I thought you actually had to like have a practice or something or like work for somebody like specifically as a therapist. And she said that they just changed her job title because I guess when you get a master's, um, in like the social work, whatever, like she went from counselor to therapist. And so I was like, I talked to her about this last night. I was like, this is some weird ass shit because you have been an addictions counselor for years. Like what, 15 years, I think? She's been doing this. And I always felt that the word counselor was a shitty word because it makes it sound like you're, I don't know, like some guidance counselor or something at school. Like when I would tell people I'm a drug and alcohol counselor, I hated to use the word counselor. It's not like I wanted to say therapist because I knew I wasn't one, but counselor just kind of sounds like not serious. I don't know. And we were very good at our jobs. And so I told her, I said, I've always wished that you would have something better than the title of counselor. But here you are in your office. You were considered a counselor. You were counseling, people who are trying to get sober. Now, all of a sudden, this piece of paper that she worked so hard to get, this degree, changes her title from counselor to therapist. And from what she's offering has changed from counseling. Wait, did I say that wrong? So instead of counseling, it's considered she's doing therapy now. I don't understand. I was telling her, like, what is the fucking difference? There is no difference. Like, so you went from providing counseling services to like now you're offering therapy, which sounds way more better and important, but like nothing that she's doing in her sessions is actually going to change. So, and she said that she thinks it's just because she's been in therapy for years. She knows the lingo. I mean, this is not like she's not new to the field or anything, but I just thought, isn't that weird? Does anybody else think that's weird? Like how the behaviors, like the person and the behaviors don't change. Like Alicia is Alicia. She does good. Like, I don't know why I'm going into this. I'll just stop there because this will go on for another 20 minutes. But does anybody know what I'm talking about? Isn't that weird how you change up the description of something but you're not changing the actual thing itself? I don't know. Okay. Anyways, so what I really got on here today to talk about 13 minutes later, was just kind of like adding on to stuff I've already talked about before, kind of about demands on my time. We were in therapy last week, when we were clapping after that. And it was in therapy that like stuff came up and like I really sat there and it just really, really dawned on me as clear as could be. I don't like any demands on my time. Like I knew this before, but when somebody says any, maybe that means, you know, well, some are okay. But no, I don't like, well, I shouldn't say any. I just don't like demands on my time. And we were talking about that and how like I still have some resentment toward Alicia for like the last few years of like her grad school and like shit was hard between us and I really felt like I was kind of floundering. And I mean, I've talked about that in prior episodes. If anybody cares to, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you want to go back and listen, um, you can. I forgot what I was talking about. Therapy demands on my time. I don't fucking know what I was getting at there. Sorry about that. I don't know how to edit, so this stays in. But anyways, I don't like being asked to do anything. Um, And that makes me feel really selfish, but it's also very fascinating to me. And I wonder, like, does this stem from my childhood because my time was constantly being wasted? Is this like an autistic thing? like, is because it's like the PDA stuff. I don't know, like, demands my time. Can you help me look for something? That pisses me off. And I've talked about why, because my mother, that was never a good situation. But like, even when that doesn't pop up in my head, I don't know, I'm just like, I have to stop what I'm doing to help somebody look for something that they fucking lost. And by they, it's usually my wife. I'm like, bitch, can't you keep track of your shit? Um, but I like go into like these mini rages in my head. That's the best way I can describe it. I don't feel murderous. I don't feel like extremely like rage sounds like I'm really mad, but it's all contained in my head. Like nobody would know looking at me that there's like a rage party going on inside my head because I was asked to stop what I was doing to go help somebody look for something that they fucking lost. Now that sounds rude saying that out loud, but that's how I feel. Other demands of my time. Will you go to the fill in the blank with me? Like, will you go to the store with me? Will you go to my doctor's appointment with me? I don't want to do any of that ever, ever. But when I need to go to these appointments, you bet your ass you're coming with me. Like, what kind of crap like, that doesn't make any sense at all. That is just not nice. But that's how I feel. Um, Driving Alicia to her ketamine sessions once a month. It is not a big ask at all. I'm very supportive of her ketamine sessions. It has changed her in such a positive way. And all of these positive things about that can be floating around in my head, but they don't mean a fucking thing when it comes to me having to stop what I'm doing to go drive her there and then come back and like just my day's taken up with driving because I have to go drop her off and pick her up and then go get her and bring her back. And that means I don't get to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And I struggle with that every single time. I'm getting better at it, but like it's still hard. And another demand of my time could be like people calling and like expecting that I'm going to answer the phone. When will people fucking get it? I'm not answering the phone. The only time I did, I'll take that back. The only time I answered the phone was just the other day because it was Janice calling, my neighbor, and my adopted mother. Like when Janice calls, she's the kind of person that like when you see her name pop up on your phone, you do not ignore that phone call. You answer it. Like you just do not ignore Janice. And so I answered it. I was in the middle of working. She's frantic on the other line and she's at a doctor's appointment. And she goes, somebody just called me and said that they saw the animals right outside our house. And I don't know how they got out. And I need you to go look. And like, it's pouring rain outside. And it's pouring rain. Like I was drenched. She wanted me to go next door to see if her animals were really outside of her house. And I'm like, who called you? She's like, I don't know. Somebody named Jessica. And I was like, who's Jessica? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, then why are you listening to somebody who's calling you and you don't even know who they are? You didn't ask. Like, I don't get this. So I said, is your side door unlocked? And she's like, yes, everything's unlocked. And I'm like, oh God, Janice, you shouldn't do that. So I go into the house. Her animals are fine. The dog and the cat are there. And so I call her from the kitchen in her house. I said, I'm looking at them right now. They're fine. And she was like, I just left the doctor's appointment. Like, I'm on my way home. And I was like, what do you mean you just left? I said, were you in the appointment? She's like, yeah, I walked out. I just told them I had an emergency. It's like, well, then why did you call me? If you were just going to leave anyways, I don't get it. And like, not to mention, who the fuck is this Jessica person? I don't know. Sorry I just said all of that. You probably didn't need to hear any of that. But, this is why I don't like answering the phone. But whatever. So like, her and Alicia are pretty much the only people I will pick up the phone for. And then like when somebody has called me, but they did not leave a message and I know who they are, I'm gonna call back. I'm not even gonna text you because if it was that important, you would have either left a message or sent me a text. So Alicia and her family does that. I think it's fucking weird. Like, I get it, but I don't. She'll call her sister and it'll go to voicemail, and she never leaves a voicemail. And instead, her sister would just see missed call and call Alicia back. And then her sister does the same shit. It's weird. I get it because, like, who wants to leave voicemails? Who wants to stop and take the time to listen to them or whatever? But, like, I don't know. I just think that's rude as fuck. And if somebody did that to me, and then, like, it has happened where it's been like, why didn't you call me back? You saw I called. You didn't fucking leave me a message. I'm not calling you back if you don't, like, I don't know. No. Another thing that I don't like being made to do is having shit talk with the neighbors or pretty much anybody. Like, small talk. Fuck that. Do not waste my time with just talking about nothing. Like, if you want to pull me to the side and tell me how, like, I don't know, like you had this epiphany about your fucking life or something yesterday, like, I will listen to that. It sounds very interesting. I would love to know what you discovered about yourself, but I'm not going to sit there and talk about the fucking rain. So don't talk to me. I also don't like responding to vague invitations. Like, I mean, I do like Janice. It might not sound like I do, but I do. I love her. But, like, she is notorious for, hey, come over in a little while. And I always ask her, like, when is that? When is a little while? Is that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, 2 hours? Like, I don't understand what a little while means. That is so fucking vague. Can you just tell me, like, what time? And Janice, she always gives me a hard time about that. She's like, it, she just thinks it's ridiculous that I get so bent out of shape about this. I don't understand why you can't just be more specific. Like, you know when you would like me to come over, right? If I told somebody come over in a little while, I have a time frame in my fucking head when I would like to see them. I've never said that to anybody, I don't think. I don't usually want to see anybody, but you know what I mean? I would be like, come over in 10 minutes. There you go. It's direct. Um, Something else I don't like is like doing errands with anything that could just be delivered. I wish I was rich because I would never leave the house. I would have everything come to me all the time. That's just the truth. Unexpected visitors. I do not answer the door at all. At all. And like Alicia does, which I think is funny. And we still get, like, I don't know what they're called in the States. I know in England we call them solicitors when people would just kind of like come to your house and try to sell you something or convince you to do, I don't know. Are they called solicitors in this country? I call them that. I don't even know if that's a rude term or what, but anyways, we get them and they come and they're like, want to sell you some shit. I don't answer the door because if somebody didn't tell me they're coming over, then I have no obligation to answer it. And now that we own this house, I really don't have any obligation to answer the door, so I don't. But Alicia will. And then she'll stand there and get roped into like these conversations with these people about trying to sell this or sell that. And I would just be like, oh my God, you should have just like, no. And like the rare time that I used to answer the door and I would see a solicitor, I'd be like, no, thank you. And I would shut the door. So don't come over. And like, I've thought about getting that ring thing, like that camera doorbell thing, but I don't really give a fuck, really. I don't care that much who's coming to the door to like buy something like that. Just go away. Other things I don't like being asked for, favors. Like, sometimes I can barely manage my own life, but like, yeah, sure, I'll help you with yours. What do you need? And then, like, something else that's annoying that I don't like being asked to give up my time for is to give people directions. Like, motherfucker, use Google Maps like the rest of us do. I see that smartphone in your hand. Like, you have Google Maps. You have it, use it. Why are you asking for directions? And you know what? I don't know. I'm such a bitch because I get so mad when that happens. I always give people the wrong directions. Most of the time it's because I don't know where the thing is and I'm pretending I do. Sometimes I do know where the thing is. Well, that was in my 20s. I didn't do that recently. I haven't done that recently. But yeah, I don't like being asked for directions. No. I mean, I've lived in Syracuse 12 years, no, 13 years now, no, 11. My math is bad. And I didn't even know that the library was like 2 minutes away from us. I didn't know where the library was. It was 2 minutes away. I've been here for 11 years. Don't ask me where shit is. But, if it's something to do with my cats, except bringing them to, like, the vet, because that's annoying, but I know you have to. But, if it's something to do with my cats, yes, they can take up my time. Do you need some cuddles? Sure. Somebody who like, there's people that I collaborate with stuff regarding, autism, like writing and stuff, and I don't mind people making demands on my time for that because, like, that falls into, like, the special interest category. Being asked to, like, write something to help out with, like, a blog or something, like, I don't mind doing that. Um, I like to chat with other autistic people. I don't mind doing that. I have a hard time talking with people that are not autistic because I usually don't really care to do it. And, I really only wanna do things that I wanna do. So I think I've said everything I could possibly say about like demands on my time. And that was the word that came up in therapy too was it's not even like a demand. I don't even like that word. It's not like somebody's like you must do this, but like you know what I mean. Somebody who just kind of wants you to be a nice human and take some time out of your life to help them with something, like I struggle with that so much. And I just wanted to share that. Um, this is something that I actually want to explore way more because I don't want to be like this. I really would like to be a nicer person. I mean, I'm much nicer than I was even like a year ago, but I don't want to just be stuck in some of my ways. I would like to be somebody that does not get irritated when somebody's like, "Hey, I need some help." Like that is like my go-to in my brain. The default is irritation, annoyance, rage, anger, like that is the default whenever I am asked to give up my time for something. It is just amazing to me that I did not shank anybody I worked with over the years because most of them were fuckers. Do not like them at all. So, anybody else struggle with this? Does anybody like have any can you help me with this a little bit maybe? Like is there something that I can do to get me there quicker so I don't have to go through all the hard work? Anybody got like a quick fix? That'd be great. I hope this was relatable. Um if you would like if you this is like one of your first episodes or like you just discovered that you're autistic, I have a course. All the links are in wherever this show description thing is that you found. You can click on it. It's only $50. It has all things adult autism. Um, I hope it's helpful. Like I don't know. I'm really bad at selling myself. I have a Substack too. If anybody's not over here on Substack, please come over. So that we could chat and like you could write things and I could read them and we could get to know each other. Um, I have public journals on Amazon. I don't even know what's going on with those. I just got an email from somebody actually asking if I have another one planned, and I do. I'm doing pretty much 2 paragraphs a day because that's all I can manage with everything else I have going on. But like the goal is to get it out this year. Thank you for being interested in like the stuff that I do, and I'm very embarrassed to advertise for myself and talk about it. So, okay. Thank you for listening. Please email me. I need help with this selfishness shit. I need help. I don't want to be like this, but I also kind of do, but I don't. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye-bye. I said bye-bye. No, just goodbye.